It is more necessary to conquer oneself than to conquer cities. Alexander the Great, they tell you to find yourself. They whisper about inner peace, about accepting who you are. That's comfortable bullshit for the weak. There's nothing to find. You build yourself. You forge your character in the fires of discipline and relentless self-assessment. You don't accept weakness, you obliterate it. The idea of passively discovering some preordained self is a lie designed to keep you complacent, a comforting delusion that prevents you from achieving anything of real value. The world rewards those who actively sculpt themselves into forces to be reckoned with, not those who sit around waiting for enlightenment to strike. The comforting lie is that self-discovery is about unraveling a mystery, like you're a hidden treasure waiting to be unearthed. The truth is, you're a lump of clay. You can be molded into something magnificent or left to dry and crack in the sun. The choice is yours, but the active verb is asterisk molding. It demands effort, pain, and a willingness to confront the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Finding yourself implies an end point, a destination reached. Mental mastery is a perpetual journey, a constant refinement, a brutal and honest assessment of your strengths and, more importantly, your weaknesses. Forget the gurus and their promises of instant enlightenment. This isn't about chanting affirmations or visualizing success. It's about understanding the architecture of your own mind, the faulty wiring, the vulnerabilities that can be exploited. It's about dismantling those weaknesses, replacing them with reinforced steel. The enemy isn't external. It's the voice inside your head that tells you to quit, that whispers justifications for mediocrity, that lulls you into a false sense of security. Conquer that voice, and you conquer everything. They sell you the dream of effortless success, of manifesting your desires through positive thinking. They fail to mention the years of grinding, the countless setbacks, the unwavering commitment required to achieve anything worthwhile. Positive thinking is a tool, but it's useless without the foundation of discipline and relentless action. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. The structure might look impressive at first, but it will inevitably crumble under pressure. Real strength comes from confronting reality, not escaping it. The path to mental mastery is paved with discomfort. It demands you step outside your comfort zone, to embrace the challenges that others shy away from. It requires you to face your fears, to stare into the abyss and emerge stronger on the other side. This isn't a path for the faint of heart. It's a path for those who are willing to sacrifice instant gratification for long-term strength, for those who understand that true freedom comes not from avoiding hardship, but from mastering it. The world is full of people who talk a good game. The world is empty of people who conquer their minds. Conquering your mind isn't about silencing the internal dialogue. It's about controlling the narrative. It's about rewriting the script that dictates your actions and reactions. Your thoughts are not objective truths. They are interpretations of reality, filtered through your experiences, your beliefs, and your fears. Recognize them for what they are, malleable constructs that can be reshaped and redirected. Don't let your mind be a battlefield of conflicting thoughts. Turn it into a forge where you craft your own destiny. This requires ruthless self-assessment. You have to become intimately familiar with your weaknesses, your triggers, the patterns of thought that sabotage your efforts. Most people avoid this kind of introspection because it's painful. It forces you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. But avoidance is a luxury you can't afford if you're serious about mental mastery. You must dissect your failures, analyze your shortcomings, and identify the root causes of your self-sabotage. Only then can you begin to dismantle the faulty wiring and rebuild a stronger, more resilient mental architecture. The human brain is wired for survival, not necessarily for optimal performance. It's constantly scanning for threats, seeking pleasure, and avoiding pain. This survival mechanism can be a major obstacle on the path to self-mastery. Your brain will try to convince you to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid risks, to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term goals. Overriding these instincts requires conscious effort, a relentless commitment to pushing past your perceived limitations. You have to train your brain to associate discomfort with growth and to view challenges as opportunities for self-improvement. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action. It's the force that compels you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the unwavering commitment to your goals, regardless of the obstacles you face. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself or depriving yourself of pleasure. It's about aligning your actions with your values and creating a life that is consistent with your vision. It's about building habits that support your goals and eliminating those that undermine them. The world will constantly test your mental fortitude. It will throw obstacles in your path, challenge your beliefs, and tempt you to stray from your chosen course. Your ability to withstand these pressures will determine your success or failure. This requires a deep understanding of psychological warfare, both against yourself and against external forces. You must learn to anticipate your opponent's moves, to exploit their weaknesses, and to protect your own vulnerabilities. Psychological warfare begins with self-awareness. Know your own triggers, your own biases, your own vulnerabilities. Understand how your emotions can be manipulated and how your thoughts can be distorted. Once you have a firm grasp of your own psychological landscape, you can begin to anticipate and counter the tactics of others. One of the most effective weapons in psychological warfare is information. Gather as much information as possible about your opponents, their motivations, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Use this information to develop a strategy that exploits their vulnerabilities and neutralizes their strengths. Don't underestimate the power of misinformation and disinformation. Planting false rumors or exaggerating your own capabilities can sow confusion and disarray among your enemies. But psychological warfare isn't just about manipulating others. It's also about protecting yourself from manipulation. Learn to recognize the tactics that others use to influence your thoughts and behaviors. Be wary of appeals to emotion, logical fallacies, and attempts to create a sense of urgency or scarcity. Develop a healthy skepticism and always question the information you receive. Ultimately, the most important battleground in psychological warfare is your own mind. The ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors is the ultimate weapon. Cultivate a mindset of resilience, adaptability, and unwavering determination. Train yourself to remain calm and focused under pressure, to think clearly and rationally, and to make sound decisions even in the face of adversity. This is not a passive process. It requires constant vigilance, relentless practice, and a willingness to confront your own weaknesses. But the rewards are immense. By mastering your mind, you unlock your full potential and create a life of purpose, meaning, and unwavering strength. You transform yourself from a victim of circumstance into the architect of your own destiny. Imagine a high-stakes poker game. The air is thick with cigar smoke, the tension palpable. A seasoned player, let's call him the Shark, sits across from you. He's known for his ice-cold demeanor, his ability to read opponents, and his ruthless efficiency. He's built his fortune on exploiting weaknesses, on preying on hesitation, on turning fear into profit. Now, this isn't just a game of cards, it's a microcosm of life. Every bet, every raise, every carefully constructed bluff is a psychological maneuver. The Shark isn't just trying to win your money. He's trying to break your spirit, to make you question your judgment, to force you into making mistakes. He'll use subtle tactics, a carefully timed sigh, a knowing glance, a display of apparent weakness designed to lull you into a false sense of security. He'll try to intimidate you with aggressive bets, pushing you to the edge of your comfort zone. And if he senses weakness, a flicker of doubt in your eyes, he'll pounce, relentlessly exploiting that vulnerability until you're left with nothing. This is the reality of the world. People will test you. They will probe for weaknesses. They will exploit any advantage they can find. The key to surviving, to thriving, in this environment is to understand the game, to learn the rules of engagement, and to develop the mental fortitude to withstand the pressure. You must learn to read people, to identify their tells, to understand their motivations. You must be able to project confidence, even when you're feeling uncertain, to mask your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities. You must be able to control your emotions, to avoid being swayed by fear, greed, or anger. And you must be prepared to make difficult decisions, to take calculated risks, and to stand your ground even when the odds are stacked against you. In the poker game, as in life, knowledge is power. Understand the odds, understand your opponent, and understand yourself. Know your strengths and your weaknesses and develop a strategy that plays to your advantages. Be patient, disciplined, and relentless. Don't be afraid to fold when you're beat, but don't be afraid to bet big when you have the advantage. But more importantly, don't let the shark control the narrative. Don't let him dictate your emotions or influence your decisions. Instead, take control of the situation. Use your own psychological tactics to turn the tables. Observe his behavior, identify his tells, and exploit his weaknesses. If he's trying to intimidate you, respond with unwavering confidence. If he's trying to lull you into a false sense of security, challenge him with unexpected aggression. And always remember that the most powerful weapon in your arsenal is your mind. Your ability to think clearly, to strategize effectively, and to control your emotions is the key to victory. The shark is counting on you to crumble under pressure. He's counting on you to let fear and doubt cloud your judgment. Don't give him the satisfaction. Instead, rise to the challenge, embrace the pressure, and show him that you're not just a player in the game, but a force to be reckoned with. The game isn't just about winning the pot, it's about mastering yourself. It's about developing the mental toughness to withstand adversity, to overcome obstacles, and to achieve your goals. It's about transforming yourself into a person of unwavering strength, resilience, and determination. That kind of power is not about bluffing or deceit. It's about honest self-assessment, constant training, and unwavering commitment. It's about building a mental fortress that cannot be breached, a spirit that cannot be broken, and a will that cannot be denied. Forget about tricks and deception. The true psychological edge comes from genuine self-mastery. That's the winning hand every single time. The path to conquering your mind is littered with traps, carefully laid by your own weaknesses and eagerly exploited by your adversaries. The first and most insidious trap is comfort. The human animal craves ease, seeks the path of least resistance, and recoils from pain. This inherent desire for comfort is a fatal flaw in the arena of mental warfare. It leads to complacency, a dulling of the senses, and a vulnerability to attack. The weak seek refuge in routine, in predictable patterns, and in the familiar echo chamber of their own beliefs. They avoid challenges, shun discomfort, and cling to the illusion of safety. But safety is an illusion. The world is a battlefield, and every moment is a test. To seek comfort is to surrender, to lower your guard, and to invite defeat. Embrace discomfort. Seek out challenges. Force yourself to confront your fears. Only through constant exposure to adversity can you forge the mental steel necessary to withstand the pressures of life. Avoid the trap of comfort at all costs. Another pervasive trap is the allure of instant gratification. In a world saturated with instant information, immediate entertainment, and effortless access to pleasure, the ability to delay gratification is a rare and valuable skill. The weak are slaves to their impulses, constantly chasing fleeting moments of satisfaction. They sacrifice long-term goals for short-term pleasures, trading lasting fulfillment for momentary relief. They indulge in distractions, procrastinate on important tasks, and succumb to the temptation of instant reward. This constant pursuit of instant gratification erodes their discipline, weakens their willpower, and undermines their ability to achieve anything of lasting value. Resist the siren call of instant gratification. Cultivate the ability to delay pleasure, to prioritize long-term goals over short-term desires, and to endure discomfort in pursuit of a greater reward. Train yourself to see beyond the immediate moment and to focus on the long-term consequences of your actions. The ability to delay gratification is a cornerstone of mental mastery. The trap of seeking external validation is another pitfall on the path to mental dominance. The weak define themselves by the opinions of others, constantly seeking approval and validation from external sources. They crave recognition, fear criticism, and tailor their actions to conform to the expectations of society. This dependence on external validation makes them vulnerable to manipulation, easily swayed by flattery or intimidation. They become prisoners of their own image, sacrificing their authenticity and integrity in pursuit of acceptance. Break free from the need for external validation. Define yourself by your own values, set your own standards, and pursue your own goals, regardless of what others may think. Cultivate a strong sense of self-worth that is independent of external approval. The only validation that truly matters is your own. The trap of negativity is one of the most destructive forces in the human psyche. The weak are consumed by negativity, constantly focusing on their shortcomings, dwelling on past failures, and anticipating future disasters. They see the world through a lens of pessimism, magnifying problems and minimizing opportunities. This negativity poisons their minds, erodes their confidence, and paralyses their actions. They become trapped in a self-fulfilling prophecy of despair, attracting negativity and reinforcing their negative beliefs. Cultivate a mindset of optimism and gratitude. Focus on your strengths, learn from your failures, and anticipate future success. Challenge negative thoughts with positive affirmations and reframe negative experiences in a more constructive light. Surround yourself with positive influences and avoid toxic people who drain your energy and perpetuate negativity. The ability to maintain a positive mindset in the face of adversity is a crucial element of mental resilience. The trap of indecision is a common affliction that paralyses the weak and prevents them from taking action. They overthink every decision, weighing the pros and cons endlessly until they become trapped in a state of analysis paralysis. They fear making the wrong choice, allowing their fear of failure to prevent them from making any choice at all. This indecision wastes valuable time and energy, creating a sense of stagnation and frustration. It also allows opportunities to slip away as others seize the initiative and take action. Develop the ability to make decisions quickly and decisively. Trust your intuition, weigh the available information, and commit to a course of action. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, as mistakes are valuable learning opportunities. The most important thing is to take action, to move forward, and to learn from your experiences. Indecision is a form of self-sabotage. The trap of emotional reactivity is a dangerous pitfall that can lead to impulsive behavior and disastrous consequences. The weak are easily triggered by their emotions, reacting to situations with anger, fear, or sadness, without thinking rationally. They allow their emotions to control their actions, making poor decisions and damaging their relationships. They are unable to detach themselves from their emotions and observe them objectively, allowing their feelings to cloud their judgment and distort their perception of reality. Cultivate emotional intelligence. Learn to identify your emotions, understand their triggers, and manage your emotional responses. Develop the ability to detach yourself from your emotions and observe them objectively, without allowing them to control your actions. Practice mindfulness and meditation to cultivate emotional awareness and regulate your emotional responses. Emotional control is a key ingredient of mental strength. The trap of intellectual arrogance is a subtle but deadly flaw that blinds the weak to their own ignorance. They believe they know everything, dismissing alternative perspectives and refusing to consider new information. They are closed-minded, resistant to change, and incapable of learning from their mistakes. Their arrogance prevents them from growing, evolving, and adapting to new challenges. They become stagnant and irrelevant, clinging to outdated beliefs and failing to keep pace with the ever-changing world. Cultivate intellectual humility. Recognize the limits of your own knowledge, be open to new ideas, and be willing to learn from others. Embrace the concept of lifelong learning and constantly seek out new information and perspectives. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. Intellectual arrogance is a barrier to growth. The final trap is the trap of inaction. Recognizing the traps is useless if you fail to take action. The weak are masters of excuses, always finding reasons why they cannot pursue their goals, overcome their challenges, or achieve their dreams. They procrastinate, delay, and postpone, endlessly waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But the perfect moment never arrives. The only way to overcome the trap of inaction is to take the first step, to start moving forward and to commit to the process of self-improvement. Don't wait for inspiration, motivation, or perfect conditions. Start now with what you have and do what you can. Every small step forward is a victory, and every victory builds momentum. Inaction is a choice, and it is a choice that leads to stagnation, regret, and ultimately defeat. Break free from the trap of inaction and take control of your destiny. Your mind is yours to command. The strategy for conquering your mind begins with ruthless self-assessment. You must dissect your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with the cold precision of a surgeon. Identify your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, your blind spots. Where are you susceptible to manipulation? What are your triggers? What beliefs limit your potential? This is not an exercise in self-pity or self-deprecation. It is an act of intellectual honesty, a necessary first step in building a mental fortress. Accept the uncomfortable truths about yourself. Embrace your flaws. They are the raw materials from which you will forge your strength. Most people shy away from this process, preferring to remain in comfortable denial. They surround themselves with illusions, protecting themselves from the harsh realities of their own limitations. But true power lies in facing the truth, no matter how painful. Only by understanding your weaknesses can you begin to overcome them. Next, you must master the art of mental discipline. Your mind is a battlefield and your thoughts are your soldiers. If you allow them to run wild, uncontrolled, and undisciplined, they will lead you to defeat. You must train your mind to focus, to concentrate, to resist distractions, and to persevere in the face of adversity. This requires constant vigilance and unwavering self-control. Practice mindfulness, meditation, or any other technique that allows you to observe your thoughts without judgment. Learn to identify negative thought patterns and to interrupt them before they take root. Cultivate the ability to detach yourself from your emotions, to observe them objectively, and to prevent them from clouding your judgment. Mental discipline is not about suppressing your thoughts or emotions. It is about controlling them, directing them, and using them to your advantage. It is about becoming the master of your own mind, rather than being its slave. Furthermore, understand the power of framing. The way you interpret events, the stories you tell yourself about your experiences, will shape your reality. Learn to reframe negative situations in a more positive light, focusing on the opportunities for growth and learning. Challenge your limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering ones. Cultivate a mindset of resilience, optimism, and gratitude. Remember, your thoughts are not facts. They are interpretations, and you have the power to choose which interpretations you accept. Control the narrative, control your perspective, and control your reality. The world is a reflection of your inner state. Change your inner state and you will change your world. Most people are victims of their own narratives, trapped in self-defeating loops of negativity and despair. They allow their past experiences to define their present and their future. But you are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are the author of your own story, and you have the power to rewrite it. Then develop a strategic mind. Think several moves ahead, anticipate potential obstacles, and plan your actions accordingly. Learn to analyze situations objectively, identify the key players, and understand their motivations. Master the art of deception, misdirection, and manipulation. Use your knowledge of human psychology to influence others, to persuade them to see things your way, and to achieve your desired outcomes. But be warned, the strategic mind is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good or for evil. It is up to you to choose how you wield it. The most effective strategies are those that are based on truth, integrity, and mutual benefit. Never underestimate your opponent. Never become complacent. Always be prepared for the unexpected. The strategic mind is a weapon of immense power, but it must be wielded with caution and wisdom. Finally, embrace the concept of continuous improvement. The journey to conquer your mind is a lifelong pursuit, not a destination. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt, but these are opportunities for growth, not reasons for despair. Learn from your mistakes, adapt to new circumstances, and never stop striving to become the best version of yourself. The moment you become complacent, the moment you believe you have mastered your mind, is the moment you begin to lose control. The mind is a dynamic, ever-changing entity. It requires constant attention, constant training, and constant refinement. Embrace the challenge, embrace the struggle, embrace the journey. The rewards are immeasurable. A conquered mind is a powerful mind, a resilient mind, an unstoppable mind. It is the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving your ultimate goals. Never settle for mediocrity. Strive for excellence in all that you do. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it, cultivate it, and use it to create the life you desire. The world is waiting for you to unleash your full potential. Do not disappoint it. Rise above the limitations of your past, the challenges of your present, and the fears of your future. Conquer your mind, and you will conquer the world. Think of the great empires of the past, their rise and inevitable fall. What brought them to power? What led to their destruction? It wasn't simply superior technology or vast armies. It was the mental fortitude of their leaders, the collective discipline of their people, and the strategic foresight that allowed them to anticipate and overcome challenges. An empire, in essence, is a reflection of the minds that built it. A unified, focused, and strategically driven populace can achieve seemingly impossible feats. Conversely, internal division, complacency, and a lack of vision will always lead to decline, regardless of material wealth or military might. Consider the Roman Empire. Its success was built upon a foundation of disciplined soldiers, pragmatic engineers, and shrewd politicians. They understood the importance of mental resilience, training their minds as rigorously as their bodies. They valued duty, honor, and the pursuit of excellence. This mindset allowed them to conquer and govern vast territories, building infrastructure that still stands today. But as the empire grew, so did its internal weaknesses. Political infighting, moral decay, and a decline in civic virtue eroded the mental strength that had once made them invincible. The people became complacent, more concerned with personal comfort than the common good. The leaders became corrupt, more interested in power than in service. And as the collective mindset deteriorated, the empire crumbled, falling prey to external forces that it once would have easily crushed. War, too, is a crucible that reveals the power of the mind. Victory is not always determined by the size of an army or the strength of its weapons. It is often the side with the greater mental resilience, the clearer strategic vision, and the stronger will to win that emerges victorious. History is filled with examples of smaller, less equipped forces defeating larger, more powerful opponents through superior tactics, unwavering determination, and a profound understanding of their enemy's weaknesses. Think of the Battle of Thermopylae, where a small band of Spartan warriors held off a massive Persian army for 3 days. Their courage, discipline, and unwavering commitment to their cause inspired their allies and delayed the Persian advance, giving the Greek city-states time to prepare their defenses. The Spartans knew they were outnumbered and outmatched, but they refused to surrender. Their mental fortitude allowed them to fight to the death, buying precious time for their comrades and etching their names into the annals of history. Or consider the Vietnam War, where a determined guerrilla force, fighting on their own territory, resisted the might of the United States military for over a decade. The Vietnamese lacked the technological advantages of their enemy, but they possessed an unwavering belief in their cause, a deep understanding of the terrain, and a willingness to endure immense suffering. Their mental resilience and strategic ingenuity allowed them to wear down the American forces, ultimately forcing them to withdraw. These historical examples demonstrate the profound impact of the mind on the course of events. Whether building an empire or waging war, success depends on the ability to control one's own thoughts and emotions, to understand the motivations of others, and to develop a clear strategic vision. The same principles apply to your own life. The battles you face may not be on a battlefield, but they are no less real. You are constantly confronted with challenges, obstacles, and setbacks that test your mental strength. To overcome these challenges, you must cultivate the same qualities that made empires rise and armies victorious: discipline, resilience, strategic thinking, and an unwavering commitment to your goals. You must learn to control your thoughts, manage your emotions, and focus your energy on the task at hand. You must develop a clear vision of what you want to achieve and a strategic plan to get there. And you must be prepared to overcome obstacles, adapt to changing circumstances, and never give up on your dreams. The mind is the ultimate weapon, the most powerful tool you possess. Master it, and you will be able to conquer any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal you set for yourself. The empires and wars of the past are not just stories to be read in history books. They are lessons to be learned, examples to be followed, and warnings to be heeded. The principles of mental mastery that drove them to success are the same principles that will drive you to success. The human mind at its core is a battlefield, a constant struggle between instinct and reason, desire and discipline, fear and courage. This internal conflict shapes every decision we make, every action we take, and ultimately, the course of our lives. Understanding the psychology of this internal battle is paramount to achieving self-mastery. You must recognize the forces at play, the tactics your mind uses against itself, and the strategies required to gain control. One of the most insidious enemies within is the narrative fallacy, the tendency to construct stories to explain the past and predict the future. While narratives can provide a sense of understanding and control, they can also be incredibly limiting, blinding us to alternative possibilities and trapping us in self-fulfilling prophecies. You create a narrative about yourself, your capabilities, your limitations. You tell yourself you are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. And then you act accordingly, fulfilling that very narrative. To break free from this trap, you must challenge your narratives, question your assumptions, and be willing to rewrite your story. Seek objective truth, not comfortable lies. Another key aspect of the mental battlefield is the struggle against cognitive biases. These are systematic errors in thinking that distort our perception of reality and lead to poor decision-making. Confirmation bias, for example, leads us to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, while ignoring evidence that contradicts them. Availability heuristic makes us overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled, such as dramatic news stories, while underestimating the importance of less visible but more common occurrences. These biases are like hidden tripwires in your mind, waiting to sabotage your efforts at every turn. To overcome them, you must cultivate self-awareness, actively seek out dissenting opinions, and develop a rigorous process for evaluating information. Emotional regulation is another crucial element of mental mastery. Emotions are powerful forces that can either fuel our success or derail our progress. Left unchecked, they can cloud our judgment, impair our decision-making, and lead us to act impulsively and irrationally. The ability to manage your emotions, to recognize them as they arise, to understand their underlying causes, and to respond to them in a constructive way is essential for maintaining control over your mind. This does not mean suppressing your emotions, but rather channeling them, directing their energy towards productive ends. Acknowledge your anger, but do not let it control your actions. Feel your fear, but do not let it paralyze you. Use your emotions as fuel, not as a weapon against yourself. Strategic thinking is also an essential component of mental mastery. The ability to analyze situations, identify opportunities, anticipate challenges, and develop effective plans is crucial for achieving your goals. This requires a shift in perspective, a move from reactive to proactive, from simply responding to events to actively shaping them. You must learn to think several steps ahead, to consider the potential consequences of your actions, and to adapt your plans as circumstances change. Treat your life like a game of chess. Each move you make should be carefully considered, with the ultimate goal of checkmating your opponent, achieving your desired outcome. But strategic thinking is not just about planning, it's also about execution. A brilliant plan is useless if it's not put into action. You must develop the discipline to follow through on your commitments, the resilience to overcome setbacks, and the perseverance to stay focused on your goals, even when the going gets tough. The ability to learn from your mistakes is paramount. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. Embrace failure, analyze its causes, and use it as a stepping stone to success. Do not be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. This is where true growth occurs, where you discover your hidden potential, and where you forge the mental